The spanner in the works is drawing an analogy with a car, and it's to do with all the aspects of the human body that might be related to the car. Like our skeletal system might be a framework, and the heart the motor, and so on. And the spanner in the works is the things that can go wrong. And so these things are being addressed today, like hearing tests and dietary advice and health checks, and prostate cancer also gets mentioned here today.
This is Men's Health Week, and we're doing what's called Spanner in the Works, where we spend a bit of time with men and do some screening on some of their health issues. It includes taking men's blood pressure and their waist measurements and finding out when they've had their cholesterol done in the past and how much exercise they actually do, and then look at a diabetes screening tool. There's a number of questions on whether they're coping well emotionally or not. So it's a bit of an overall view of what's happening for blokes emotionally and physically. I've been talking to a number of men this week about two main issues. One is knowing your numbers, so knowing what your blood pressure is, knowing what your cholesterol is, knowing what your waist measurement is, because that all impacts on your health, and also knowing your family history and the history of health in your family. The earlier we find out about those things, the better.
1 in 6 Australians have a hearing loss. As people get older, the incidence of hearing loss is greater. We're offering all the sheds hearing screenings across Australia. So just an initial hearing check, just to find out what's happening with their hearing. Every 2 to 3 years, it's a good guide to have a hearing screening. But this is a perfect situation to have all the checks done all under the same roof.
Marlene's asked me today to just go through some assessments and some tests, and have a bit of fun with the guys and testing out how strong and how fit they are and how good their balance is, basically. Our bodies deteriorate from the age of 25, so but it's a gradual process. So perhaps we're not always as aware of it as we should be. That that we are getting a bit weaker. Our reflexes aren't as fast. We're not as strong as we used to be. Simple things, if you find yourself scuffing your feet a bit more, if you're tripping up, even if you're not falling over, if you're tripping up, or if you're one of the funny things is if you're starting to make noises as you get up from a chair, or because you're not as strong as you used to be. A lot of the tests are actually based on simple day-to-day activities and how well you can do them. I think what I've found, in trying to get people to make some long-term changes is that it needs to become a habit. It needs to become part of your lifestyle, whether it's walking a bit more or some exercise that's prescribed by you by a physio or a trainer, or deciding that you will go to a gym 2 or 3 times a week, and it just becomes part of your routine.
Today I was talking about how to read food labels, so teaching the men how to read food labels when you're at the supermarket. The main thing that we're wanting to teach them is looking at your fat, sugar, salt, reducing those things and increasing their fibre intake as well to help reduce their risk of lifestyle diseases such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes, stroke. So this way we can teach them to make those better choices.
I think generally men are starting to take a little bit more responsibility for their health. I think it's a little bit unfortunate that men don't tend to do something until they have quite a significant event in their lives which causes them to go and see a doctor or have some sort of medical intervention. I think it is improving slowly with the exposure that's happening in the media, and also things like Men's Health Weeks encourage men to do a little bit more for themselves.